Greetings, this is Frosty Thundertrod, and today I am bringing you alpha footage of Galactic Civilizations 3. And of course, there's a disclaimer. Thank you for participating in the Galactic Civilization 3 alpha test. Just remember that the lack of fun is working as intended. This is for testing and feedback purposes only. Any confusion of this alpha test with a finished fun product will only lead to tragedy. We desperately want to hear what you think, so please give us a piece of your mind on the Starduck or Steam forums. I'd highly recommend the Starduck forums. Steam forums are... Okay. Not funded and testing. Intended for testing. Got it. Let's play. Let's go play the Space Emperor. Alright. Now, in this version, all we have is random maps. So the campaign mode isn't available yet. I'm going to turn down game sounds because usually game sounds do interfere. There, that should be good. Alright, start a new game. So there are the 4 races that you can presently choose from. Terran Alliance, Dragon Empire, Altarian Resistance. Though really they should update this description because the Altarians don't look just like humans anymore. In previous games they did, but maybe that might be a blue elf, but that's definitely not a human. The Iridium Corporation. These guys look different too. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and play as the Terrans. Alright, you can choose between tiny and small, so I'll choose small. Random. Alright. And none of this is turned on yet. Okay, gonna play with all 4 empires. Alright, now here we start in the world. In the universe anyway. Looks like I'm on the far left side. One of the first changes you'll notice is the map has gone from squares to hexes. And in fact, the galaxy is a hex. Now somewhere out here is 3 other empires. Currently, there's no diplomacy in the game, so the only game mode is conquest. You gotta conquer everybody. Now, you don't necessarily have to conquer through military force. You can also take over planets through influence. Alright. So our survey ship. This used to be what was called the flagship. And command. And I'm going to just order it to automatically survey. Scout. Command. I'm just going to order it to automatically explore. Now let's take a look at our homeworld, Earth. Manage. Alright. Alright, now here you can see that the planet too is also in hexes. And there's some interesting abilities. Now, improvements give bonuses to other improvements built next to them. See, like the main colony here, gives basically everything to every adjacent tile. The starport gives 1 military to every adjacent tile. Now over here you can choose what you gonna build, you got your All tab, Improvements tab, Starport, which is your ships, and Projects. So I'm going to stay with imports. I actually think this tab selection's a little too small. I'd make that a little bit bigger. Alright, Prairie Lands. And since this is mineral rich, it gives +3 to wealth, +2 to research. Now, in Galactic Civilizations 2, this icon meant manufacturing bonuses. And here we got +2 manufacturing, +2 population. So this is good for factories or farms. This is good for research laboratories and marketplaces. This is good for farms. And now here you got two different bonuses. You've got the plain grasslands improvement, which is +1 to population for farms. And then down here you've got the wild grains. So this is actually a +3 to population. So this is a very good place to build a farm. But I don't have any farms right now. Prairie land gives no bonuses or penalties. There's grasslands here. Alright. More food bonuses. I was hoping to see some different types of terrain, but there's not that many different types of terrain on the Earth map. Alright. So I'm going to build a basic factory right here. Alright, select it from the list and click build. Now here, since there's a research improvement, I'm going to build a research laboratory. As you can see, the factory, gives +1 manufacturing, +1 military to any adjacent. Alright, so I can actually make better use of these factories by building two factories side by side. See, they're sharing the link right there. Technically it's sharing the link with this one too, but it's not a very useful link. Alright, so now this one has +2 manufacturing from its title, +1 manufacturing from being next to another factory. Now this factory just has +1 from being next to a factory. Put an embassy down here. I'm going to build a market center here. I'm going to put down 2 more basic factories down here. Then once I have the technology for farms, I will put a farm here and here. And I'm going to save these other 2 for other improvements I haven't unlocked yet. But this makes the building process greatly more interesting than what it used to be. Because it used to be, other than these little icons, you could plop anything anywhere, it doesn't matter. Now, if you actually think ahead and plan out, to put certain types of buildings right next to each other, you get a lot better results. Oh, one thing I will say though, is that I've seen it on other maps, sometimes these green and yellow outlines are hard to see. Based on the terrain behind them, so I think in future builds it might be a good idea to just shade this entire cell instead of just doing the outline. Alright, over here's this takes the place of the 3 sliders. which basically it is 3 sliders. Again, it's just represented differently. Now, as before, if you increased your manufacturing, your research and your economic went down, and basically this just does the same thing. It's just done with a geometric reference instead of a direct side-by-side reference. Since Earth has to do a lot of things, I'm gonna stay fairly close to the center, but favor manufacturing just a little bit. There, so I'm gonna go 40, 30, 30. Right, now over here, Starport. You can choose what ships to build. Constructor, colony ship, or scout right now. I'll go ahead and queue up a couple colony ships. They won't actually be able to do anything until, because ship building and planetary building are no longer separate queues. They're all in the same queue. And as far as I can tell, there's no differentiation between military production and civilian production anymore. It's just production. Alright, up here's where you have your research. And this is the turn button, but it says I have no research, so it's going to make me choose research before I turn. And research has had a huge revamp. Because remember, the old tech trees, used to have to scroll all the way up and down, and here they've kind of categorized it and compressed it so it all fits on your screen. No more longer scrolling all the way down to the bottom to see the one or this huge sheet of information where you can lose the one tech you want. And let's see. Got civil. I'm going to go ahead and start researching farming so I can unlock farms on Earth. Alright. Now I got colonial farming going. See up here I've got 3,000 billion credits. I don't have any income right now, and I have a population of 10 billion with a growth of 0.1 billion a turn. Now let's go look for a nice juicy planet. So I'm going to send my colony ship over here. And I'm going to end my first turn. Let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. Grizzly 2. A population 17, a 17 fertility planet. Very nice. Now this is ideology. This used to be good, neutral, and evil. Basically it's pretty much the same. It's just been renamed to benevolence, pragmatism, and malevolence. Really, I think pragmatism is probably the superior choice overall. But if you're looking for a conquest, you might want to go through, malevolence. And same token, if you're looking for a diplomatic victory, you probably want to go through benevolence. But pragmatism has the best overall technologies and abilities. Heavily influences trade and commerce, and you get quite a bit of diplomacy mixed in with that. So overall, it's probably the best of the trees currently. But this is just an early alpha, alpha 1, so it'll probably change long before this game actually releases. Alright. Recent wars left debris fields scattered across the galaxy. This particular one yields a moderate collection of valuable ship components and rare elements after a thorough survey. Curiosity may often be dangerous, but it's also regularly profitable. Let's go ahead and settle. Let's colonize Grizzly 2. Alright, now this is how you gain your points towards benevolence, pragmatism, or malevolence. Our scouts report significant portions of the planet are inhabited by sentient pod-like creatures. These pods bond with other sentient life. Those who are bound by these pods experience significant physical pain at all times, but have heightened intelligence. What are your orders? Now, if I want to be benevolent, keep our people away from these things. No one should have to live in agony. That goes plus 10 benevolence. Encourage people to make use of the pods, but don't force anyone. Plus 10 pragmatism, plus 25 research. Excellent. Require all colonists to be introduced to these pods. Plus 10 merciless. That should be benevolent. Malevolence, not merciless. Merciless. Plus 50 research. Well, I'm going to go pragmatic. Alright. So that's a good zone for influence. It's grasslands, prairie lands, grasslands. Oop. Arid lands, plus 2 to research improvements, but it's yellow, I can't build it yet. Grasslands. Alright, I'm going to start off here. Building a factory. I'll put the factory down over here. Next, I'm going to build an embassy here. Or here, I'm going to put a market center. And now this planet I'm going to have focus mainly on research. So I'm going to build one here. Alright, now this group of 5 can all support each other, especially this one here because it's getting plus 1 from all these 4 around it. And I'm saving this one for research for a improvement that comes later. And same with these 2, I'll save these for later improvements. Now on this planet, since it has nothing to do right now but build buildings, I'm going to shift to production, shift all the way to production. There we go. Now I have 2 planets under my control. And here you can... So it used to be you'd have to jump into lists and stuff. Now you can find all that information right here. Coming soon, star bases, your ships, and your colonies. Where did these cargo pods stuffed with goods worth literally an astronomical amount of money come from? Where are their owners? Why did they abandon them? None of these questions have profitable answers, so there's no need to ask them. So that's 250 billion credits. Then asteroids. And there's actually 57 billion credits. And there's different terrains in space now too. Here you have nebula, which plus 50% movement, plus 50%, minus 50% movement, minus 50% sensor range. There's also dust clouds. Let's see here. Minus 50% moves, 50% accuracy. So it's kind of interesting that there's now terrain in space. Oh, there's the dragon right there. They're kind of close. Huh. Okay, that's nice. Now, one thing I noticed is that edge scrolling doesn't work. You have to drag scroll. A powerful ship drifts, clearly battle damaged beyond repair. Its advanced drive systems, however, are remarkably well preserved. A few modifications to its more exotic components later, and your own drives are screaming along well beyond their factory specifications. So that's plus 2 moves to all ships in my fleet. That's very nice. So, drag scrolling works fine. I just prefer edge scrolling because sometimes strike scrolling can make you do misclicks. And more debris fields, 57 billion credits. As you can see here, as you explore more of the galaxy, the mini-map zooms out to be able to accommodate it. There's another empire right here. You can just see the edge of their territory. $76 billion credits. Time to research something else. Let's go ahead and research sensors. I like to be able to see what's around the world. Greetings, Terra Alliance. The Dragon Empire's Alpha A #1 duty at this time is to wipe you from the galaxy. Oh, but thanks for the hyperdrive. It'll make hunting you down much easier. Yes. You're welcome. These are just scouts. No weapons on them yet. Well, that one has weapons. 4 lasers. I wonder if he'll attack my survey ship. I hope not. And met the Altarians. They basically say the same thing as the dragons. Alright, now this is where it gets kind of interesting. It's not only do you research, a technology, but then you can specialize within it. So instead of, researching, sensors 1, sensors 2, sensors 3, like you did in Galactic Civilizations 2, here you research, sensors and then choose a specialty within it. Now you can research all 3 of these eventually, but for right now, just choose alright. Let's go sensor fine tuning. Iridium Corporation. Met them. Alright, now we've got a colony that's idle. In this case, it's Earth. So, see here, go to Improvements tab. And I'm going to build a farm here. And here. Now, since they're side by side, they get their tile bonuses and they get an adjacent to each other bonus. So, Earth's going to have a very large population soon, which is good because I'm going to be depleting it a lot to build transports and colony ships. Okay, so I got a lost scout ship. And once again, the turn button turns into idle ship and lets me know there's a scout just floating around. So, I'm going to just command it to explore. Alright, now my research is done. Now, with this technology, I should be able to... Yes, I'll be able to build more survey ships in case one of the enemy empires blow up my starting survey ship. Which is kind of nice, because you see how useful survey is. Alright, now Earth is idle again. Build some colony ships. Let's go find a place to settle. Guess Mars will do. Alright, go more pragmatism. So I'm going to build a basic factory here. Then up here I'm going to build a research laboratory. So I can't build anything there yet. That's just yellow. As you can see, the yellow kind of blends in with this pretty well, so. Alright, that's done. Let's set the production all the way to production. There you go. Now with the way these empires spawn, they all spawn right on top of me instead of, at the four corners of the map, so. These 3 stars don't have any useful planets on them, so I'm going to go down here. I don't know why there's choose eject ship instead of launch ship, but basically that's the same mechanic as in Galactic Civilizations 2, where you have to launch the ship from the planet to make use of it. Head on down here. Now, got enough points I can choose an ideology, so I'm going to choose pragmatism. This gives me plus 10 research. And outreach group, so. See, this is a new improvement that I can now build thanks to the ideology we've adopted, outreach group, which allows me to have plus 1 influence to every adjacent. And plus 1 wealth. And it also gives me plus 5 pragmatism. And also produces 1 culture. So I'm going to go ahead and build this right here. And up here in Grizzly 2, manage this planet. I'm going to build one right here. That way it'll give an influence bonus to this embassy. And I'll put out 1 culture for each planet. Which is good because I don't have any entertainment right now. Just run through a series of turns here, waiting for something to happen. Alright, colonize planet, yes. And more pods. There's more than one event on settling. It's just that this one has came up every time so far. Yeah. Here we go. You know, once again, the yellow's kind of hard to see. Now here you have influence and tourism. So prairie land. Mountainous. +1 to wealth improvements. So that'd be a good place to put a marketplace. I'm going to build a basic factory here. So I'm going to build an embassy here. Then right next to it I'm going to build the outreach group. And here I'm going to put a market center. I'm going to build 3 research laboratories here. I'm going to put a farm right here. I think I'm going to put another market center right here. So I got a lot of bonuses to it stacking up. That's good. Build another research here, and I'll save the last 2 for improvements I haven't researched yet. Switch the slider all the way to production, and done. Okay, colony ship's done on Earth. So eject the ship from orbit. Now come down here and settle this planet. You'll notice sometimes planets, when you mouse over them, will actually give, planet-wide bonuses. Though none of them I've currently found do. But sometimes you mouse over a planet that hasn't been settled yet, and it'll give you, this planet, has like 50% production or 50% research. Once again, adds a lot of depth to your settling plan than what used to be. It used to be, you just grab whatever city was around and make good use of it. Okay. Now I don't really want to build anything else here for now, so I'm going to swap the slider all the way over to research. And this is going to produce a lot of research for my empire. Idle colony. Alright, Mars is idle. Once again, there's nothing here really to build, so it's going to go all the way to research. And let's see. It's time to start thinking about warfare, so I'm going to research planetary invasion. Alright, planetary invasion's done. Let's do stellar marines. Alright, yes, we'll colonize Cornor 2. And more pods. Research and influence. So just go to improvements. I'm going to build a factory right here. A farm here. Here I'm going to build an embassy. Then right next to the embassy I'm going to build an outreach group. And I'm going to do... can only do one embassy per planet. So I'll do a research. Market center. Another research. And I'll leave this one for now. And I'm going to go over here to Grizzly 2 since I have a new rather good one to build. I'm going to build the Galactic Guide. This gives +1 research. Yep, to all adjacent. That's good. Okay, and I'm going to end this episode right here. Thank you very much for watching.